Hello, and welcome to another edition of Love Advice. I'm Susan Winter, best-selling author and relationship expert, and already we have wonderful people in the room today. And Gwyneth and Bea, thank you for being such excellent moderators. Today's topic is on time apart. Now, oftentimes in a new relationship that isn't quite stabilized, or you don't know yet what to call each other, time apart can feel like a pulling back, and it can strike fear into somebody who is a new partner. But there are times when time apart is actually beneficial to the relationship. And that's what I'm going to talk about today, because the reason that time apart can be good at any juncture of a relationship is that, one, it can reconnect you to yourself. It can remind you that there is more in your world than this particular person. It also brings in new input, meaning what happens in relationships when they get stale is that each person has spoken to the other for so long that they become those couples that you see at a table at dinner, and you know they've lived together 20 years because they have nothing else to say to each other. They quietly eat their food. Maybe they complain about the noise or they complain about the soup, but there's nothing vital happening, because in a relationship, you have two individuals. So our duty to ourselves is to continue to grow individually and then bring that knowledge back into the relationship to reinvigorate it with new information. So time apart is now kind of becoming a thing. I recently came across somebody's Instagram feed. Maybe one of my Instagram followers. Oh yes, one of my Instagram followers asked me to take a look at this gal's commentary and see what I thought about it. And now she and her partner I think they live with each other, which makes it different. They live with each other and they have an established relationship, but they take off and travel the world alone for about a month at a time. That to me is a little excessive, but it could be for work, that if she's an Instagram, influencer in travel, then that would make sense. But I do think that it is good to develop yourself and never forget who you are inside a relationship. So that's what we're going to be talking about today: the pluses, the minuses, when this is effective and when it's not effective. But now I'm going to give a shout out to some of the people I see here, obviously Bea and Gwyneth. And Bamareg, I did not forget, next week is Rebounds, and that is from Bamareg. Hi, Clara says, looking good. Clara from New York City, we have sunshine today. It's amazing. Yes, and winter coats. Amaya from Germany. Yes, I will be in Munich May 21st. Okay, I'm coming in a little bit early because I want to spend an evening alone with Bea and Gwyneth and give them private time for being such wonderful people. And then on Saturday, the 21st, I'm going to be collecting people. So I'll be giving all of you, oh, hello, Chris Puckett. How are you doing? Thank you, Susan. You are welcome. I guess this is from last week. So I will be sending, when we get further along in this, I'll be giving you an email address that you can send information to. Selena from the UK, KC. Let's see, Debbie, Mordred, how are you doing? Kim Turner, Ellie, or Elle, Veronica Berry, Dallas, and let's see, my Dibby, let's see, hi to that, and Chris Puckett, thank you so much for the $4.99. We do appreciate Super Chat. So here's what I would ask you to do. If you decide that you have a special question you'd like to ask me, or you simply want to make a contribution because you find this valuable, you can use Super Chat. But if you have a question, then please try to write it in the Super Chat. Otherwise, what happens is you're going to see me doing this and like trying to read where your commentary is, and then I'll have Bea and Gwyneth diving all over the page looking to answer your questions. Okay. Hi, Susan. I'm still trying to maintain a friendship with my younger ex, so we're technically apart, yet sort of together. Confusing. Okay. Susanism number one. Oftentimes, time apart, if you're already distant, creates greater distance. Time apart is good when you've been together and you take a brief break. I think in the first 3 months of a relationship, the tendency tends to be for one or both partners to want to see each other all the time. And yet, this is where we need to pace ourselves, because the biggest issue for many of us, at least I think the people on my channel, is, we don't play games. We're learning how to love full out and to own it. And we are prepared and ready to love. And so when we finally meet somebody that really resonates for us, we're like, oh, I can't wait. Like, let's go, let's go, let's go. The impatience. And so we've got to really take hold of the pacing so that we don't scare the other person. And maybe on that one weekend, we're waiting around to see if they're going to see us and what's going on. That would be the time to say, you know what? I'm really 90% of my thoughts are what's happening here. I think I need a reboot for myself. So I'm going to take Saturday off, turn off my phone. Maybe I'll tell my prospective partner, my date, I'm taking Friday off. Or I'm taking Friday and Saturday off. If you don't hear from me, don't take it personally. I just turn off my phone. I'm going to walk in nature. I'm going to get a massage. I'm going to go play golf, do whatever my thing is, take a bike ride, and regroup, or even get together with friends. But it is very important to do this, because reestablishing the unity and the foundation of who we are is absolutely essential when we are in a relationship, because we tend to morph toward that partner, either to accommodate their personality and their wishes, or to be compliant to make sure that the relationship is successful. There are all sorts of ways that, left to our own defaults, we may amend our own behavior, so that we're so busy trying to please our partner or think about them that we've forgotten about ourselves. Separate and apart from our partner, we have that one unique relationship for the rest of our lives, which is with ourselves. And that's the one that we may have to struggle the hardest to continue. Some of you have children, and just finding time to yourself is a big deal. Finding any time that you can pull yourself away from your responsibilities. Others of you are entrepreneurs. You have a work day of 22 hours, probably 7 days a week. So keeping our own balance is important. I am going to just quickly look at any of your questions. If you have a question on time together, time apart, how to do this. Let me get back to the question here. If you're in a long distance relationship, time apart doesn't make you closer. So your set point is apart. Time apart is valuable when you have the ability to see each other on a regular basis. Time apart is not an effective means of growing closer and rebooting passion when you simply need time together. It would be the opposite for you, okay? So let's see. I'm HSP, okay? And I love time alone. I need alone time. I know, it's crazy, right? With all the work that I do here, yes, I like time alone. And Chris, thank you so much. And if any of you have a question, Tommy, hi from San Francisco. Exercising aloneness feels good sometimes. We're coming into a time period where the millennials have really prompted this me time to take care of myself. Now, a lot of people use that as commentary to blow off a prospective partner, like, well, I'm not really dating right now. I need me time, or I can't continue this relationship. I need to work on myself. That's true. Just being alone with ourselves can strengthen us so that we can now interact, because oftentimes, if we don't have a strong enough sense of self, we will lose our voice and our way in the relationship. So I think this is very important. So the reason that many people don't take time away from their partner, and again, the initial time period before you're really securely in a couple, is anxiety ridden for many people, but it's really fear of losing the connection. So we fear that if we ever take our foot off the gas just a little bit, that somehow the whole connection will erode. And we may find ourselves clinging to our mate. And that is a surefire way to not reboot the passion. Having time apart is oftentimes just enough to make your partner kind of miss you. What they took for granted is suddenly gone now. And they will think about you throughout the day. Not at first. Maybe they're taking a break too. But then when they realize you're not here, they'll miss you. And then that reboots the passion. Plus, you have things to talk about when you come back. So relationships get stale because the couple, as I said previously, have the same conversations. If they're always together, they're observing the same things, they have the same input. And there's not much else to share except gossip, and that's not worthy of putting into a relationship. So talking about other people is not the default for new material. Actually having new experiences and discovering new things about yourself is the default. So let's see. IQ, I hope that helps. Maintain a friendship with my younger ex. So we're technically apart, yet sort of together. Confusing. Well, it seems like you don't really know if you're still in a relationship or not. I think you need some time together, and I think you need to come to a definitive answer as to whether you're going to try to be a couple. It sounds like you're making an investment and you're not sure what he or she wants. So I would definitely move it toward knowing, because then at least you have resolution. The thing, oftentimes we don't want to ask questions or do things to clarify the relationship, because then at least in our minds, well, we've still got one. We've got hope. But as I've gotten older, I've developed another viewpoint, because I start to look at the time left in the sand down. I'm like, I don't have time to wonder. And it clears the board for me if I know you're in or you're out. We're doing this or we're not doing this. Because if we're not, I've got other things I can do in the time that I have available. And then it also frees you up to be available for other people. So that would be something I would suggest. Should the man be the one to initiate reconnecting after the time apart or the breakup? Now, those are very different things, Jessica. A breakup is a breakup. I think what we're getting into here is the distinction between a break and a breakup. And I can morph into that discussion. I will come back to time apart. So, there is a distinction between a break and a breakup. A break is the relationship's over, we are going our own way. A break is where you're taking a temporary halt for a decided upon amount of time. It is not an arbitrary something given to you by a partner. Yeah, I need some time to myself. That's a slow fade. That's, I don't want to be here. And I would suggest that nobody accept a separation that doesn't have a definitive time coming back. Otherwise, you've just got somebody doing a slow fade and they're trying to get away from you. So, I prefer to call a spade and be very clear. Your time is valuable in this life. And if that partner is unsure, doesn't know, then you should really find them less attractive and want to move forward. So let me see if I've answered this. Should the man be the one to initiate reconnecting at time apart? See, Jessica, if you broke up with somebody and you're waiting for them to come back, it sounds like you want that person to reconnect with you, then they've already kind of devalued you because they left you once. You think letting them go and, hunt around and then come back, then you would just kind of be in their stable, I think. I don't know enough about your question. I do appreciate it because it led me into the distinction. So very clear, if your partner, if their version of time apart is, I need a break, I want you to say, okay, I think we actually need more together time. If you think that's the case, you say, okay, how long? And if they say, I don't know, say, That's not cool. I don't accept that. That's not going to be workable for me. And a time apart, if you're intending to continue the relationship, should be to go work on something specific and get your head together. Then come back to the relationship with your answer or with a changed attitude. But it's not to be used as a cover for I'm leaving, but I'm hoping to fade away so slowly that you can't really, pin me down, and then I never did it, and then you'll just get upset and you'll break up with me. Do you understand? Okay, that's really important. IQ, we were with each other for 2.5 years and lived together. This is the younger guy, right? So this friend with some benefits feels weird. He wanted to date other women because of his age and inexperience, but I couldn't be poly. I was his first real love. Okay, you're in a very difficult situation. I would strongly suggest that we work together. Here's my feeling. I know you love this person and you want to be with him. You also know that he's young. With younger men, if you catch them at the wrong time, they haven't had the experience. They may understand intellectually your value, but you don't want to be with anybody that still has to investigate. And this applies to those of you dating somebody who's been recently divorced. There's a time where people have to go out and just clear the deck because their therapist told them to do so, or they feel that it's for their betterment to have the experience of dating a number of people just to get it under their belt. Like I know with me, I was always uncomfortable if I was one of the very first women that a younger man was with because I wanted him to have some experience. The last place I want him to wonder whether he's, should be committed is when he's already with me. Then I have to worry about what's going to happen next. So I would prefer in all cases for the partner to have gotten whatever it is out of their system. And in a case like that, I do the push. They're like, oh, I need to explore. I say, cool, go. Then I don't have contact. I don't want to know. You're going on your journey, you go. And then in my mind, that's pretty much a breakup. It may not be the story I would want in this scenario, in this kind of scenario, but I would create that's a breakup. That segment I lived with them is over. Love them dearly, wish they'd come back, but I don't want them like this. I don't want him unresolved. I'm going on with my life, and you should date too. And if he meets you in the future, fine. But I wouldn't have any friend with benefits with him. I wouldn't have any. You're living together. This is insane. You don't want to do that, right? What if they say they need a couple of weeks? Not be specific. I'd nail them down on it. And say, just so I can be clear, let's say 2 weeks. And we talk about it. Okay? So we'll be in touch, whatever. And then pick a date. Look at the calendar. Say, okay, we'll talk. We'll reconnect on this date. And if they say, well, I don't know if I need more time, again, that's the kind of comment that should raise huge red flags for you. Okay? If they need that much time, then perhaps they need all the time in the world. And you evacuate. I was very forgiving at one point in my life, and it served me well. And then I became very clear and exacting, and that served me well. So I think the question is, what's going to make you feel more resolved? Let's see, are there any questions? Amanda, hi from Wales. How are you here? If you have a question for me, put it please in Super Chat. I will look for it. Okay, love and infatuation is a little off topic. Do you believe in LOA, to get someone back? I believe in law of attraction at all times. But again, law of attraction to get somebody back, I don't quite know how that would apply. I am of the belief, and perhaps it's contrary to what most people think, that when a segment with your partner has failed, the design has failed, the partner has left, they're disenchanted, I believe a clean break puts a period and an ending on it. I know it's the most terrifying thing to do, because the last thing you want to do is get rid of that energetic connection. You fear that if you cut that cord, that you'll never hear from them again. And I think you have to end what didn't work, grow, and then you're a new person. Because if they have any doubts in their mind, they're going to come back and be curious. Rita, $5. Thank you, Rita. My boyfriend wants to be on my social media, and I don't want to share my relationship on social media. Is this unreasonable? I think it is. I'm sorry. Put yourself in his position. You're using the word boyfriend, and yet you're hiding him from the public. Unless you're a rock star and your talent agent and your managers are telling you it's going to destroy your record sales for this new album or EP, I think you owe it to that person. How would you feel if they hid you? I mean, really. What are you doing on social media you don't want this person to see? Either don't call them a boyfriend and figure out what it is that you actually can do with them, or open up your life and actually have the experience. That's what I would suggest. And if you're ever uncertain, flip the script and think, how would I feel? How would I feel if I've got a lover, somebody that's a boyfriend, and introduces me in public as his friend? Or I'm nowhere on his Facebook or Instagram page, and that all of his status says single. I'd feel horrible. I'd be like, what am I? That's unfair. So if you love me in private, you got to love me in public. That's a Susan thing, but that's simply my opinion. Again, I want to remind all of you, I am simply here to give you information. You must decide what is right for you. You are the only one. And maybe if you hear something I say, you're like, oh, cool, I like that. Maybe you'll hear something and say, I don't agree with that. And that's good. As long as it's prompted you to figure out what is the answer for yourself, that is correct. Okay, thank you so much. Gerald, $14.98. Thank you, Gerald. I appreciate that. My friend with benefits never posted me on social media, but has done so for other friends with benefits. I asked him why, but he refused to answer. He still returns my texts, but he turned me down when I invited him to a staycay. Gerald, do you think maybe it's kind of winding down? This doesn't sound too, I mean, I want to be optimistic for you, but we have to look at what the facts are. Now, there's one other thing we can always try. I know it seems weird. It's completely opposite. But if you feel like they're fading away and giving you less and less and less, I would ask yourself honestly, because I feel them giving less and less, have I been contracting more, and have I been more conditional with them? And maybe have I been holding back more? And if you find that you have, then you were mirroring perhaps their fear. I don't know. But the only other solution that I would say to reboot that is to be much more effusive, much more expressive as to what you care about and like about this person, and exactly what you want and need, and how you'd like to be more involved in this person's life. You might find that just by saying that, they're like, oh, wow, I never knew. Or they may say, oh yeah, cool, I just wasn't thinking about it. But either way, you'll get your answer. They're either unconscious and didn't know the position you wanted, or they're scared, or they're just not interested at all, and they're giving you a diminishing role, at which point you have to know, because that clarification is basically going to tell you whether it's worth it to stay or to leave. Okay? Gerald, thank you for your share. I really do appreciate that. Rita, but he knows everyone in my life. I don't understand what the big deal is. I don't understand. But I don't share a lot on social media in general, though. So what's the problem? I'm on your side. You're in my group here. I'm not against you. He's got one request. Okay, I had a guy who had one request of me. One. I had every category in the relationship, every category, the house, the home, the career, the whatever. And my girlfriend came into town. It was really icy and treacherous roads. I had this country home, right? And he goes, I'm going to drive us. He was the younger guy. And he goes, I want to drive you because, I want to make sure you're safe. And I'm like, Regis, I've got this. It's okay. And he goes, can't you give me driving in the snow? Just give me one category. And I thought, okay. Because I was like, I grew up in Minnesota. I know snow like you don't know. And I thought, Susan, he wants inclusion. He wants to feel like a part of this. You love him and you're living together. You're faithful. You take, you cook him meals. You do everything you can to help him in every way, emotionally and all others. And he's asking to be a greater part of your life. And he wants to drive the car in the snow to make sure you're safe. So, sweetie, your guy wants to be included on social media and you don't even care about it. You're hardly there. So I don't know what it's like. When you pick your battles in a relationship, for God's sake, give on the ones you don't care about. You're going to look gracious at the end, like, oh, gee, you really want to clean the garage because that's your thing for organization? Okay. You know what? The garage, that's your domain. I'll give that. You look gracious. Then when there's something you really want to fight for, you can say, look you asked me for social media. I gave it to you. I'm being reasonable. I need this from you. So it's if you just want to be selfish, it's a pretty good barter chip. Hi, KC, $6.99. How would you approach opening the relationship during a vacation apart? Opening the relationship. Casey, I don't know what you mean by the word opening the relationship. Yvonne, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you so much. Casey, I do not know the extent of what. Okay, wait, IQ, that happened to me. He wouldn't add me on his social media or take me to events with his friends. Hurtful. All right, then you tell him I'll add you on social media as soon as you add me on social media. That's a whole nother story. So you all have to forgive me. When I read your stuff here, if I get one sentence and it's not the complete, and I understand it's the setup for the super chat, but sometimes if they've denied you access to social media, but they want to, connection to yours, you say, fabulous, we'll do it at the same time. Okay? So let's see, Yvonne, thank you for all the help you've shared here. You are welcome. KC, help me out here. How should you approach opening the relationship during a vacation apart? Do you mean having an open relationship or do you mean growing closer after a vacation apart? Do you mean reconnecting? Maybe it's the language that I need to hear. Let's see. Help me out, Casey. Give me the second part of that, and my mods will help look for this because I do not know what you mean by opening the relationship during a vacation apart. If you are together and then you've gone apart for a vacation, reconnect with your partner when they come back. Okay? Make sure that you get some time alone. Gerald, okay, I asked him, but he said it's best not to ask such questions because there's no right answers. Oh, that's very confusing. That and the fact that he's turning down a staycation invitation, I'm worried he doesn't want to meet anymore. Again, if you're certain that he cares for you, you may want to make a gracious exit and say to him, just in case there's any concern on your part that you didn't express yourself, I care for you. I've wanted to be close to you, but it takes two people. And so for that reason, I'm just, you know what? I'm going to kind of go my own way for a while. I'm going to take a little break from this interaction. And then you stop all contact. Just stop. Stop, not just so that it's visible to him, but stop so that you can reorient your head to look forward. Somehow this person who's giving you very little has become way too important. Sometimes we have to look forward and try again. I got a note from a client that for about a year was intent upon being with a very difficult and abusive man. He had Asperger's, so it really wasn't his intention to be so horrible. And I kept saying to her, when somebody works with me, their number one thing that they want is for me to get their relationship right. So I know they're paying me to get it in a better place. I may hate the relationship they're in, and I may say, I don't think this is good for you. Why are you in this? But they're paying me to do, so I have to do what they're paying for, right? I have to give you your money's worth. That's what you're paying for. We tried for a year. We got him better, and then he backslid. He just was who he was. She wrote me recently. She said, Susan, I can't believe all the time I spent on that man. You kept telling me he was so disagreeable. He was so negative. I felt I was walking on eggshells with him all the time because he had this flaring temper, because he was so impotent in life. His mental illness made him so incapable of doing the least little thing. He was smart enough to know what he couldn't do and how intelligent he had been. And whatever these concerns were for him. And so she said, now I'm with a man that is so wonderful, attentive, expressive, kind-hearted. I didn't even think this was possible. So here's another way to look at all of this. On the flip side, if you want to talk law of attraction and metaphysics, sometimes we are pressed. We want somebody, it's not working out. And we keep trying and trying. And at some point, we're either so clear it's never going to work, or we just are so exhausted that we give up without knowing the answer. So far, it hasn't worked to date, and we're just like, we've lost everything. Time, energy, sanity, we've lost everything. And then what do we feel? We feel the need for a massive correction. So the last person you would be attracted to after ending something like this would be somebody who's, uncertain about who they want to be with you. You would look for the most certain, positive, happy, well-adjusted person that invites you into their life. You'd look for the opposite of what's given you such a problem. And sometimes that's all we need, is enough anxiety to set up the tension, to be the springboard to shoot us forward, right? So all of this stuff, no matter where any of you are on today's spectrum of anxiety or uncertainty, it's all working in your favor to push you toward what it is you need to access, uncover, desire, move toward. It just gets better and better and better, okay? So, Veronica Berry, you need your own show. Yeah, my millennials tell me this is my show. I agree. I love television. I had my TV show. I had a show in Financial News Network and another show on public access that was called Higher Ground. We went to about, 1.7 million, 2.7 million homes. And great Carolyn Mays, Anadea Judith. All these incredible people. Really just wonderful people that we had on the show. And that was on metaphysics and higher consciousness. So thank you. You are my show. We're on the Susan Winter show, Amanda. Okay, so your reasons. Say, I'm afraid of being vulnerable and opening my life out on those platforms, so I am sometimes too cautious. If you can understand that, try it. Amanda, I'm not sure if you're just talking in general or you're talking to IQ. Okay, you two are talking to, no, Rita, you're talking to each other. Okay, got it. Okay, let's see. Thank you for all the help you've shared. Thank you. Rita, okay, Amanda's talking to you. This is all good. Gerald, I might move on. You sound like a tremendous guy. Geez, staycations, friend with benefits. You're hardly asking for anything. I can't do that, right? All right, so what else do we have here? Were you on Oprah? Yes, I was. Loved her. I hired press 1 month out of my entire life. That was 2019 for 1 month. It was money lost. I thought he was fabulous. When I saw him working with another woman, it was ridiculous. I stood in front of some red carpet backdrop. That's all that happened that month. The Oprah people found their way to me. I didn't even have a website. She was so wonderful. They flew me out there. I was heading to Germany, as a matter of fact, and I had to delay my trip. I was meeting my girlfriend there. I had to delay my trip, and I turned them down initially. I said, I can't accept this because, well, first my dog was sick. I said, I'll call you back. She's bleeding. She had a urinary tract infection. I couldn't talk to them. Then I called them back when she was okay. Then they asked me to come out last minute, and I'm like, I would love to accept, but I'm not on my own. I gave my commitment, my word to my friend. I'm traveling with her. She's leaving in like 30 minutes from her home, and I've got all the train tickets, and I can't stiff her. And so I said, let me see if I can reach her. Thank God for cell phones. Just as she was packing her house, she was mad, but she's like, I said, look, I'll meet you in, I don't know what it was, Freiburg or someplace. I'll meet you someplace, Heidelberg. And instead of Frankfurt, I'll meet you in Heidelberg. And I said, I'll cover your tickets in between. And she did fine. And so they flew me out. She was wonderful. She held my hand during the show. They invited me up on the stage. It was the very first time that I had not been attacked in 10 years for loving the man I loved. Even the other media outlets. So can't say enough about her for seeing the big picture. Okay, she's talking to Rita. Yes, okay, Diamond. Okay, you all are helping each other. This is wonderful. Casey clarified. Where did Casey clarify everything? Okay, let's see here. I want to make sure that I'm answering all of your questions. Okay. All right, so let me know. Okay, wait. Ooh. Here I see more. Sometimes I go past these and I can't see all of them. All right, everyone. So we have some time left. Now, what would you like to, so you understand the concept of being time apart. Some couples do this to keep the relationship fresh, and they craft it into it. I have a colleague named Daniel Harold, and I saw this cute little post where he'd gone, I don't know, hiking or mountain climbing or something, and this hot little, woman that he's dating, very smart. I think they're in the beginning of their relationship. I don't think they're officially like couple yet. And she's waiting at the airport with a little sign, welcome back to the hottest mountain climber ever, or something like that. And I'm like, that's smart. She's playing it smart. But also, we have to allow each other to expand. And I think some of the ways that we built relationships in the 20th century, we've got to really readjust them to our current time period, to who we are and to what's going on in the world. If we want them to last, we have to factor in growth to these relationships. And I feel like a broken record. I've been saying this for 25 years, long before anybody knew who I was or I was even in this field, but I was very aware of the structural difficulties in formal relationships, the way they were crafted. Like, I walk into this box, you and I are together, we close the lid, we don't ask any questions, we stay together till death do us part, and that's it. And it just seemed to me like, well, no wonder it's not working. Ooh, people have so many choices now. It's got to be flexible. So that's why I offer Love a la carte for anybody that is, it's just a 1 hour session with me, but for anybody that wants to learn how to craft a relationship that's actually expandable and perfect for you. Not everybody wants to be with their partner 24 hours a day. More and more, as women now have entered the workforce and have a really strong identity on their own. So this is something new. I've done a number of articles on this, interviews that is, sleeping separately from your mate, meaning sleeping in separate bedrooms. Now, that's a luxury probably outside of New York City. But, because sleep now, thank you, Ariana Huffington, has become like a big thing. And we're tracking our sleep, and we're aware that, living on 4 hours sleep doesn't make us so productive, doesn't make us happy. And so people are oftentimes aware that their partner comes home at a different time of night, or maybe wants to read at night and leaves the light on. They want to go to sleep, or they toss and turn, or they cough a lot, or whatever. So in order to have a good night's sleep, we'll sleep apart. Now, that was something that when I was growing up, I saw older couples doing, and I just figured, well, they're not physically in love anymore. This is how they've survived staying married, right? And I think there's some wisdom to that. So we are finding now that we're moving into a time period where as we evolve, we're finding that we want more life-sustaining practices to ground us. And that as we are in relationship now with all the cacophony of all the social media and all the immediate responses that we need to give to people and all the input coming our way that's just inundating us, that we need some time out to and be together with ourselves in order to participate with our mate in the highest version possible. So let's see. Gwyneth, hi, you're talking to everyone in B, and I just have to thank B and Gwyneth. As a matter of fact, I'm taking early days in Munich to make sure that I can spend private time with both of them. Now let's see. Yes, it won't allow me to do super chat. I've tried. Please answer my question. You know, I honestly, we had a man, he was also from London, had a really difficult time with super chat and paid and couldn't get his, it just kept trying to write it in. So if you've paid for super chat and it won't take your question or whatever, I have no control over the technology here. This is not something I can push a button on my screen. It is active. I know people are using it, and we will try to get to you. Casey, how would you approach the topic of opening the relationship during a vacation apart? I do not understand what that means, opening. I really need to understand this in order to answer you properly. Opening the relationship. Do you mean coming closer? Then you must come closer to that person. Do you mean seeing other people when the person comes back, when you say opening the relationship as in an open relationship? This is a linguistic thing between us, and I have to know what that specific word means in order to give you good direction. Okay, 1498, Gerald. Okay, here we are again. Gerald, thank you so much. If I give him some space and stop texting for a week or two, will this help? Yes. Hopefully, it'll help you. He's way too important to you. Way too important. This is where you're off. He's way too important. Okay, you're overinvested for what you're getting back. I want to try one more time because I enjoy spending time with him. Okay, I endorse that. I may be the only relationship coach that I know that is all about going in one more time, even twice if you have to. But then, we got to read the room, read the message. Whatever it takes for you to know that you have tried everything possible to reboot, ignite, get it going. But Gerald, the biggest tip I can give you, you got to make him less important. And your energy, everything will change. Why would he come near you when he feels you going, you know, that's what I call, you know, you've seen dogs when they, like, thankfully, my little Nika does not beg at the table. I have never let, and people come to the house and they want to feed her. I'm like, don't you dare. She has no idea what we're doing here. And once you feed her, then you're going to get like this. And you don't want to be that. We want to elevate your value. Let me read your last sentence. Everything was fine before I asked him why he won't post me. I don't think he wants what you want. And I think you're going to find that out in the long run. But I would really suggest that you do exactly what your instinct has told you. Stop texting. Stop talking to him. In this case, you don't even need to tell him why. He'll learn by action. When people feel we have a continual stream of energy that's feeding them, if they are taking us for granted, as I feel this person is, or somehow we have been excessive in our attention to make them uncomfortable because they don't know, they're not sure, they're not ready, they just came out of something, they got something else on their mind, relationships aren't important, then we will only be annoying and they will pull back. And yet they have no reason to come forward if you're all like this, your energy is like this. When we regain our sanity and we start to think that what I'm doing is not working. Let me try the opposite. I'm all over this person. Even if I don't call them, I'm thinking about them. You think they don't feel that? Of course they feel it. So for you to take them down a bit on the pedestal because there's a story about this person, something is enthralling you. And I'd love to see you shake it loose, because only then will you feel really good about yourself. And only then would you feel a genuine response from this person, because trust me, they may not want you when you're there. The minute you pull yourself away, now they're going to be like, where's Gerald? It's weird. I haven't heard from him in 3 weeks. Huh. Then they start haunting you on social media. Just, they're not really responding. They're just kind of looking. What's he doing? My God, he's got a life. Could he possibly have a life away from me? Yes. A big life. Okay. Get a staycation with somebody else. I think it's time. Yes. Okay. I love the fact that you're talking to each other. Should the man be the one to initiate reconnecting after time apart in a breakup? I read this several times, and I don't have those men do this and women do that. Okay. I don't hold those rules. I think it depends on the situation. For those of you in the feminine energy camp, listen to your instructors, because they will tell you that the man makes the first move. And if that's the way you're playing it, then you have to follow all of those directives. I can't give you that because I'm a little bit more integrated with how the answers are. It's a case by case, depending upon what I see there. Okay. If you're waiting for somebody to contact you and you're unresolved, just for the sake of resolution, I'd reach out first. Not because you're chasing them, not because you're weak, not because you're needy, not because you're insecure, because you need resolution. Sometimes we're waiting for another person to set us free. But you can do it if you're not afraid of the answer. Again, this goes back to the fear. Most people aren't direct and don't actually take an action because they're kind of afraid of what they're going to find. So I'm all about your getting your answers and getting resolution. I would far rather everybody know where they stand with somebody than be on hold for a year of your life. Because while you might think it's valuable now, because, but they're the one, I never felt such a connection, there's something special. 2 years from now, you are not going to feel that way. Trust me, then you're going to have to pay me and talk to me about it. All the anger and the resentment. If we decide to take vacations apart, it would be fun to see each other only during the vacation. Say a week, a year. If we decide to take vacations apart, it would be fun to see other people only during the vacation. Okay, that's a whole nother discussion. You're talking about a hall pass that happens on a vacation, Casey. Thank you. I'm glad I found this. You're talking about an open relationship, but only open, I think, when you go on vacation. So when you go on vacation, it's like, whoopee, the shop is open. And when you come home, it's closed. This is a negotiation you have to have with your partner. Okay, I'm not here to tell you what's right or wrong. It's going to be what the two of you decide. All right? Very good. Thank you for that. Finally got to that. Veronica. Okay, let's see. Talking to Rita. Here we have, there's an option for super chat. Who's Eram is trying to get a hold of us. Hi, Seattle gal. What's the best way to communicate what we need sometime apart to do the things I love by myself without hurting or pushing him away? Okay, great question. How do we say it? Start with their greatest fear. Honey, I love you. I'm with you, not going anywhere. Okay, don't let anybody tell you something to the contrary. I really want to go to this yoga retreat. It's a whole weekend. And it's the weekend you really wanted me to go to your cousin's, party, but nothing is wrong. I'm not leaving. I just really need that for me, for us. And I want to do it. And I'm actually just telling you, okay? So you don't misunderstand. And that's a way to establish trust, because this is what happens when you have a mommy and a baby. When the child feels separated, it will cry. It feels insecure. It's a lack of safety. part of the structure of growing as a child is the separation period, and trusting that once you separate, you can still come home and come back. And this happens in a relationship as well. In the beginning, we're clinging because it's so beautiful and so wonderful. We don't want to leave the womb of that, honeymoon phase. Then we come to the place where we are established in a relationship and we need some time alone. But this is a very reasonable commentary in today's time period. It doesn't mean going away for a weekend or taking a week away from you so I can do things and really clear my head and just think about me. I'm not leaving. I'm not gone. Don't let your friends tell you it's a slow fade. It is not true. I'm here. So I think if you really start by addressing their major concern, oh my God, I think they're breaking up with me, and tell them that it's not the case, I think you'll be fine. Okay? Jessica, I did not see your super chat. Oh, here. Oh, thank you so much. I think my ex misses me because he shows up to my races even when it's 3 hours away to practice. I run cross country. I think the time apart has made him miss me. Okay, cool. I got your super chat. Thank you so much. And the question is, do you miss him? If you see this, have you taken action on it? Because maybe he's doing what I call lurking in the shadows. Like he doesn't want to push you 3 hours away. He cares. Or is he a complete and total running freak and he has to be there because it's the latest race? Unless he's in the industry or he's watching his other friends, it's probably for you. Do you want to rekindle? Make sure you know what you want, and then I'd reach out to him. He's reaching out to you in a very covert way. Well, it's not covert as much as it's, how do I say? He's trying not to be intrusive. He's there hoping that if you're interested, you will respond. And if you are, now's the time to do it. It is. Okay? Thank you so much for the $4.99. I appreciate that. All right, where are we now? If we decide to take vacations apart, it would be fun to see each other. B, thank you. That was Casey's explanation. Yep, that's a whole nother story. Okay, Shini, never saw your super chat. It's possibly the technology rather than the location. I'm from the UK, and super chat definitely works there. I've used it. Can you see the $sign? Also, have you checked the word limit? I don't know where to begin to check the word limit. Don't even know where to do that. I don't minimize it at all. There's an option for super chat, which highlights your question. Gwyneth, you're so great. You guys are so great. You have to give a big shout out. Okay, Min says, $5, thank you. How long is the reasonable time to be apart, in your opinion? In the past, my ex just moved on when we were apart. It was very annoying for me. Of course, that was a slow fade to a breakup, and that was because they were uncomfortable taking responsibility for hurting your feelings. So they didn't deal with it at all. I think a reasonable time apart, in general, is anywhere from a week to 2 weeks. If it's to do something purposeful, meaning we're in our relationship, but I am taking a break. I'm taking a break either because I'm going to Europe with my girlfriend for 2 weeks, at which point I'll be in touch. Taking a break can also mean I'm totally retreating to myself. I'm going on a silent meditation for 5 days. I won't even have my cell phone. Don't worry. I'm not in Bob's bed. I'm with Monk, whatever, And so it depends on why is there a break. If they're doing something without you, that's cool. You know the parameters around it. If they're taking a break to reboot the relationship, there has to be a discussion over how long and are we in communication at all? And you have to clarify the terms, meaning if you're in a monogamous relationship, I just want to make sure that we're of the same understanding. We are still in a relationship. You want to take a 10-day break, but we are not dating other people and we are not breaking up. Is that correct? Do not be afraid to be exacting with them. Be a lawyer and drive them crazy. Because if you don't know, you will be spending 10 days to 2 weeks trying to figure it out and afraid to ask them. I have a girlfriend who contacted me. Her guy needed some time. Okay, so this is totally different. They need some time. That should inspire fear. That's normally a slow fade. He needed some time. And she said, how long do you need? And he said, I don't know, maybe a week, couple weeks. She was afraid that he was pulling away, and she loved him madly. They talked about the future, everything. And she was on pins and needles. I was talking her through it almost every day. And of course, he broke up with her. And so part of her was angry that she didn't jump the gun for her ego and just blast him out of the water and break up with him. But then, true enough, her ego would have been satisfied for about 2 minutes. But the worst part of that is the whiplash effect, is that what happens is if you decide to blow up the bridge and break up with them because you fear they're walking away from you, but you're not exactly sure, and then you break up with them, you're left with the guilt of, what if? What if they just needed time? What if I was so impatient and so insecure that I needed to cut it off just because I was tormenting myself? What if it could have continued? Because then you will live with that for years. And that's why I normally have people go back in and really, for a specific amount of time, do a specific protocol that is different to see if we can get anything out of this. And if not, then we have tried everything, right? We are coming toward the end of our session, and maybe some people in the UK, maybe Super Chat doesn't work for everybody. I'm not sure. Alex has written me, I think, during Super Chat. Let's see, what else do we have here? Gwyneth, thank you for being so on point. I love the fact that you're all talking to each other. You're all talking to Seattle Gal, Jessica, Jillian. Thank you very much. Did I miss anybody's Super Chat at this point? I think Shini Kunker is trying to talk to us still. If not, please just write it in the normal segment. Okay, so in the meantime, before I go off, so that was what we were talking about today. Next week is on rebounds, and that's for Bamarick. We're going to talk about rebound relationships. When are they actually good for us? When are they harmful? Can you actually have a rebound relationship that turns into the real deal? And all the different pros and cons about rebounds, why they happen, when we're escaping. So I want you to know, those of you who are in a relationship and you want to get closer to your partner, I'm pushing this because at some point I'm not going to be able to give it to you. How to Grow Together. If you look, it's in the description below. I don't own this material anymore. It is now owned by Himalaya. I don't have a copy. I'm not allowed to. It's my work, but they own it. So if you want to listen for free, you have 14 days, not only to listen to that, but to listen to Elon Musk and Tim Ferriss and everybody else. You have to do it soon, because I know they're going to quit in 2022, and you can't listen for free anymore, but you can hear my entire course by using the code name Winter when you check out. Okay, one more. Susan, I'd love to hear your insight on Seattle Gals issue, unless that's been covered. Thank you. Do not remember what Seattle Gals was. We started talking, and I don't know where we left off. Seattle Gal, okay. Oh, she was talking about how to communicate, that you need time alone and time apart. And I said that the best choice is to start with the fear they have and counter that fear. Time alone or time apart from their lover normally means that in the old school world, 20th century, it meant I'm backpedaling out and I don't want to be with you, because it was viewed that a couple had to remain together like this or the relationship was rocky. But if you're in an existing relationship where you have labels and you're definitely a couple and you are known as a couple, not just in the bedroom, but in the outside world, and one wants to take some time off to, I don't know, like go to a retreat or go on go someplace with friends, or even just really do some inner work. There has to be a time limit on it. And when you present it to your partner, you let them know that it is not for the purpose of breaking up. There's nothing wrong. You always address the person's fear, okay? Sophia Phoenix, $4.99. Thank you so much. Seattle Gal, everybody's talking to you. I think this is great. And Julian, thank you, my dear. We remember you. You've been so lovely here. He's terrified I'll cheat on him. Okay, so Seattle Gal, now here's the fear. He's terrified I'll cheat on him as he had his exes cheat on him. I've never cheated on anyone and never will. I've communicated this, but he's terrified. Sigh. Okay, do you think that this will compromise the relationship? At some point, you will have to expand the boundaries of this relationship, and your partner will either have to trust you or you will have to have a sign-out sheet at the front door and only go where he wants you to. I realize it's tough, but I present it to him like this. If you can't trust me, then you are going to be editing everything I do and monitoring every action, and I will have to ask you permission to go anywhere and check in with how that feels with you. I'm here to help you as your partner and your mate. But do you realize how uncomfortable that makes me feel, that I don't have liberty to make choices on my own? At which I am not jeopardizing the relationship at all. So let us use this as a test. I think you need some positive input. You've got nothing but negative. Woman leaves, she cheats. Woman leaves, she cheats. It's never going to change until you see it change in the real world. I'm going to be the change. I'm going to make this trip. You're going to realize I'm not cheating on you. I will be in contact with you this time around. I'll be in texting, so you know. I'll even FaceTime you. But each time I do this, it's got to be less and less, because otherwise it will make me crazy. And not only that, it'll make any woman after me crazy. So don't drive me away by putting the mantle of your ex's behavior on me. I'm not that person. You have to trust me if this relationship is going to work. You have to trust me, or you're going to make it impossible for us. This is what happens when people have issues with cheating. I've had so many people, and especially guys, come to me and say, she is so sure that I'm cheating on her. And my friend's a pilot. Like, he's gone 20 days out of every month. That's the job. And so he's like, she believes I'm cheating on her. You know, and given his background, rock star, you know, huge, private pilot flying a G6, staying all over the world, this guy would look like, yeah, he could. If you knew him, if you had any sensibility about human nature, you'd look at this guy, you'd see him, you'd know he is as straight and decent as the day is long. Straight meaning what he says is who he is and how he works. He is a one-woman man. That's it. Not a cheater. Not a cheater. And the women that keep pushing and pushing and pushing, or the men that keep pushing and pushing and pushing, it's their insecurity. And they're going to throw it on you and limit your life. Try it. See how you like it. But what happens is, normally if the partner who's terrified and trying to edit your life to minimize their fear, instead of working on their issues, which is, you got to trust. If you're going to be in the game, you got to trust. You got to let go. Okay? If you're that fearful, don't even love. Don't even get into a relationship. So by your minimizing your life to make them comfortable, you have already set up anger and resentment, and you'll end up leaving them. And you know what more of these people have said, men and women? I've never thought of cheating, ever. I don't do that. They make me want to cheat because they're driving me crazy. I get it. Okay. Sophia Phoenix, thank you. Okay. Mordred, thank you for your insight. Joanna, let's see. He's terrified I'll cheat on him. Okay. So Seattle girl, we gave you your message. Okay. Joanna J, what does it mean if he says to me that maybe I do not want a boyfriend right now and want to be alone? I feel he is projecting onto me his own mind. Oh, I hear a doggy. Is there a little white pomsky? She's going to come and drink my water, that little rat. She's got her own water bowl. Yes, the little white pomsky is coming. I'd ask him why, Joanna, ask him why he's so certain that he knows your mind. And ask him not to give you a blanket statement, but ask him specifically, tell me 3 things I have done or not done that make you certain I do not want a boyfriend right now. If he can't give those to you, he's projecting, right? So you need to really counter this stuff. Y'all, you gotta have your own mind here. Hello, baby. Yes, thank you. Drinking my water. Yes, I got it first. She's got a big bowl of water. She just wants mine. Okay, so I did a live show on Instagram a while back, Narc Abuse TV, and I'll be doing another one November 6th, and then a huge one November 13th. Yes, my baby. And they started the hashtag because I said, don't edit me. Hashtag don't edit me. You can't let anybody edit you. You can't let them edit your life. You can't let them edit what you need to say. You have to take the reins to be in a relationship and be an active participant in it, or I promise you, that person you're with will call all of the shots. And if you're miserable, you have no one to blame but yourself because you let them take complete control. Because I told you the story about Toby the fat pony. And maybe if I didn't, I think I told it in the Instagram story. If you don't take the reins of your relationship and you let your partner tell you what to do and minimize your life, you will be like I was with it was my second pony. Peanuts was my first and Toby was my second. And my dad was a lifelong horseman. And you might have heard this story before, but I was so excited to get Toby. He was so fat I couldn't put a saddle on him, but I rode bareback anyway. And so I'm riding him around in the pastures. My dad's watching me. He said, baby, rein him. I said, oh, don't worry, Daddy. He's going where I want to go. Do you have any idea what my relationships were like for the next 20 years? Yeah, I was riding Toby. I just like, oh, compliant me. Okay, we'll go where you want to go. Really? So you've got to take the reins. And maybe my instructions now are my own overcorrection, but we have to have an active voice in our relationships. If we need time off, we should have it. And if our partner is terrified, we commiserate, we understand, we appreciate, but we ask them to use this as a learning tool. It's a learning ability, right? Thank you for this. I appreciate this. Gwyneth, you're giving her my, I'm at susanwinter.net for those of you who are interested. Let's see, Susan has answered people in the past after the stream. If you have a question, ask it. Okay, Diamond, thank you. Everybody's helping me out here. Okay, so I think we're just about ready. Did I miss anybody here? Seattle Gal, Sophia, thank you, my dear. Jillian, love to see you on here. She's been so generous. I think we've answered most everyone, and I'm sorry if you find that Super Chat is not working for you. I can't really know how to fix that from here. I want to tell you a couple more things that are going on here. Content. Good content as always. This is good. I think Himalaya is not available in Europe. They discovered this quite by accident. I had people in Belgrade, Serbia, and so I wrote them and I said, by the way, none of the people when I was going down the Danube can connect with this. They said that there was a data policy change in the EU. As of now, Himalaya can only be accessed in America, Canada, the UK, and Australia. I am so sorry, and believe me, they're suffering for this too, because I have an international audience. Not just me, everybody. Tim Ferriss, Malcolm Gladwell, we're all on there. It's a beautiful site. What I loved about the coursework is that it's only 1 hour. Each chapter is exactly as I like to give it. It's to the point, exact, do this, this and this. If they do this, do this. If they say this, you say that. It's like all there for you. It's so good. And I can't even share it with you. So that was one of the deals I did. So that's that. Okay, let me tell you, Instagram Live. I will be having it. If you're not connected to me, Instagram Live is Susan E. Winter, and that's where you can drop your DM in privately if you're from this site, where there's no place on YouTube for you to write me personally. I don't even have that ability on my website because I was inundated with messages. I don't read Facebook messages, don't even read them, turn them off. So if you want to DM me at all, you have to go to Instagram, and it's Susan E. Winter. My middle name's Elaine. Some other Susan Winters got there before me. Send me a DM. I will be asking you all, I will be giving you a code in time to sign up for if you would like to meet me in Munich and say hello. And so the next thing is coaching. I'm doing crypto now. I don't know if any of you people in here are into crypto, but my friend has been bugging me for years. He's a super fan. And I'm like, okay, so the Love a la carte has a crypto version. I'm going to start small, just Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin, so that I know how to handle it myself. So if you want to work with me, you don't want to pay via Visa, and you have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and you want to do it that way, we can work it out. There's a separate click-through for that. Also, next week is the Rebound Bamrag. Thank you for that. November 6th at 3 o'clock Eastern, I'm having a live on my channel. Susan E. Winter will go for about an hour and a half, and you can ask me questions there. And I think that's about it. If you're interested in consultations, sign up at susanwinter.net. You'll see the consultation page. If you want to write me a question that you have for the videos that I do every Tuesday, that's the contact page. Go all the way down. Don't write media. Go all the way down to the little box that says video requests. We'll take them there. We get scores of them each week. And quite honestly, if you need an answer ASAP, that's not the place to do it, because sometimes I realize I shoot the videos in advance and then I realize, oh my goodness, this question is probably 6 months late. Other times, like last Tuesday, the person who asked me, I jumped on it right away and I threw it to the front of the bucket of things, and they found it before I even wrote them. So thank you for that. You all are a fabulous audience. I hope I haven't missed any of your questions. I hope that you have resolution from some of this that I've given you. Again, I want you, okay, we saw this. B, thank you so much. And Gwyneth, oh, brilliant show again. Thank you so much. Love the content. Gwyneth and B, I thank you so much for being moderators. This is like kind of become a job for you guys. If you want to be a moderator, please let me know. I don't want all of this to be on B and Gwyneth. We've had Ava Hart in here. We've had Alex from time to time will come in here. Anastasia comes in here. If I have anybody in the US, doesn't mean you have to be here every week. Just let me know and I'll make you a moderator. All we're trying to do is keep out trolls and keep out people that would make this not a safe place to share, okay? Because I want it to be a safe and wonderful experience for you. Thank you, everyone, from susanwinter.net. I will see you next week, and I look forward to your commentary when this goes live, and I love your suggestions on future episodes of Love Advice. Thank you, B. Thank you, Gwyneth. Danke. I'll see you in the future very shortly. Yay. Whee! Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you. Take care. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye now. Thank you.